Hello, good morning. Jesse is back. The last video we did on Path of Exile, we talked about some expectations. This is the spreadsheet we used here. So we have our rant-worthy topics we could talk a lot about, and then we just have some little hopes and dreams. Um, and a lot of initially negative feedback from the patch notes, not due to the content that was in the patch notes, but due to the content that was missing or absent from the patch notes. Um, so the two rant-worthy topics as a result of the patch notes that came out yesterday, still rant-worthy. I could still make YouTube video a half hour long about each of these. Um, you can't really fix defenses for slams and for slower wind up builds, especially without suppression and things that are unavailable on the bottom left of the tree. And then the cast on death portal, no defensive aura, softcore trade league tech that just is willing to die, willing to consume a couple of their map portals for the sake of much, much faster and a more efficient speed and damage. That being a problem in an economy-based game, if you can even consider this like an economy-based game. But the hopes and dreams is really what we're going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to italicize things that did not get touched. Mana build, skill tree buffs, the skill tree, and when I say the skill tree, I mean this tree, the passive tree, right? No changes there. So numerical changes to trash skill gems. This is, I think that this is the one that more people wanted. The vast majority of the community always wants this. That did not get touched. And I think that is what that's what has people a little salty. What's interesting is that everything that is in the patch, every single thing, all the patch notes, everyone unanimously agrees. Vengeance Cascade nerf, totally warranted. Like, temp chains nerf, warranted. A poison nerf, reverting to the focus mod again. I think all that stuff, everyone in the community is like, that's good. Those are great changes. So this isn't us disagreeing with GGG or the developers. This is like kudos, two thumbs up, awesome. We want Sanctum back. We want these Atlas passive changes. All this looks awesome. Very excited. But where is the numerical skill buff list or skill nerf list? Any numerical change, literally any numerical change. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but first we'll go down to the rest of these. Numerical changes to trash ascendancies, that's a fat no. So Guardian and Chieftain receiving reworks does not change the fact that the Elementalist ascendancy is like 2x to 3x better than its counterparts and alternatives for, I mean, it just has like 25% more damage. Let me just double check. Yeah, I mean, Shaper of Flames, as an ascendancy notable, is like literally 3, 4, 5 times as good as ascendancy notables in worse ascendancies. And I would be comfortable with them just tapering back some of the stronger ascendancies, just doing very minor buffs to other ones. Really, even just this one node. If this is all that they nerfed, I would have been fine with it. It's extremely overpowered and it dwarfs all builds that are trying to do comparable damage, especially in a league start. Still think I don't understand that. And then buffs to random uniques is the last thing on my list here. So they didn't make changes to ascendancies outside of the reworks. And the buffs to random uniques is definitely absent. It's different than the buffs to skill gems because people care a little bit more about skill gems than random uniques. But needless to say, it's a very short patch notes So that's listed. But this XP cheese, that was a hope and a dream of mine. I'm going to bold that because they hit it. They hit it. They didn't kill it, but they hit it hard. They boomed the arm tiers who make profit from Legion 5 ways. Like, chef's fucking kiss. I love it. I love it. I love it. It actually might be my favorite individual change in the entirety of the patch notes. I was really, really I really didn't think they would change it. I didn't think they would change it. I thought that too many important people would get upset. Legion is like very, very coveted. People love Legion. It's one of the older League mechanics at this point. And I am so glad that they nerfed it. I'm so glad. I don't even care if timeless jewels are more expensive. But let's go back to this numerical changes to trash skill gems. So they added support gems, and anytime you add content, there is always some flexibility and change and morphing, especially support gems. Maybe a lot of the existing gems will match up as a result of using new archetype, new skill gem for supports. But the reality is that some skill gems in this game numerically are just bad. They're numerically weaker to the alternatives. And I hate to do a comparison, but you know, I'm a longtime Dota player, and Dota is one of my favorite games of all time. And I just want to scroll through their latest patch. And they do patches in a similar cycle, right? Probably like every 3-4 months is when a big one comes in. But first thing you'll notice is that just the list of individual things that got changed, right? These aren't reworks. These are individual little changes. Like, look at this. One line. 5 damage bonus to this item. 5 damage bonus to this item. Recipe cost. Like, all this is items. This isn't even, we're not even getting to the heroes. Let's go to the heroes. Basically, every single hero gets, look at this little teeny tiny tweak. Agility gain decreased. So high level axes may not have quite as much armor and attack speed or whatever. I mean, this and the little change the numbers, just adjust the numbers. And this is healthy balance. This is the way that you balance the game in a healthy way. You just look at this, tweak the duration of this skill, tweak the max health percent of this skill, tweak the damage of this one and the whatever of this one, the AoE of this other one. Like, this is healthy balance. Healthy balance is you make small iterative changes with a high frequency. That's how you really refresh the meta. That's how you keep things from being stale. You don't have to always add a bunch of shit. You can just adjust and tweak the existing shit. Everybody loves Path of Exile. These veterans like me who've been playing for long enough, we love the game. We don't want you to completely fuck up with the game. We just want you to like make little adjustments. And I'll call attention finally, this will be the last thing, to a comment. There is a post here on Reddit. I hate that I'm even using Reddit, but it is what it is. Where someone points out how much work it is to make the non-ruthless changes. And there are a ton of changes in this patch, literally a ton of changes. The Atlas Keystones, unique items, new support gems. We haven't seen all the unique items. Maybe they're great. And obviously the new league mechanic is a huge amount of work and development effort to do something like that. But the comment that I prefer here is it's a little bit of, you know, like a cynical jackass take, like a little bit of an asshole comment, but I actually appreciate stuff like that sometimes. An awful lot of work to not have any time left to write, plus 15% damage on skills you can't search for on POE Ninja. So, So basically what he is referring to is POE Ninja that has the list of ascendancies. You'll notice Gladiator, Assassin, pretty trash, at least when you compare it to all the level 100s at the top. But if we go into even a midweek cycle, this is the middle of the league, the thing that he's referring to is this part right here. skills that you can't search for and can't find on PoE Ninja. That is a reference to the fact that there are a bunch of skills in this game that are so unplayably bad, not a single person in the queue is even attempting to play it. These are main skills, so main skill gems. So the first few that come to mind for me is like, he's referencing a plus 15% damage on skills. I think you can do so little, and it'll entice people. And people hated the cleave radius change, but I keep circling back to the cleave radius change. I know it's a meme. I fucking love that they change it. I want the change. Do any change, any change. Now, dual strike and double strike, small percentage increase because it's just not a good, mechanically good skill to play. Fine. If you want to just increase the damage, that's fine. I mean, it's hard to do a rework for stuff like that. But like, I don't know, Glacial Cascade and Firestorm and blah. I mean, all these gems that people don't play actively. I do think that a numerical change, a la the Dota patch, is what people want. And I think that it doesn't take a ton of development time just to do this for like, let's say 5 gems, let's say 7 gems. And what's funny is that if they did this for 7 gems, I guarantee you people would still be pissed. People would still be like, what the hell? Oh my gosh, they only did this? That's not enough. We wanted more. The meta is going to be the same. And maybe that's the case. Maybe the reality is that Reddit will never be satisfied. But I am fucking sad. I am way more sad than I expected to be. Because I'm basically looking down the barrel of the exact same builds that I played. I don't play poison builds generally, and so when the poison stuff got nerfed a little bit, it didn't change my thinking. It didn't change what I wanted to play. I can't play Earth Shatter. I can't play Slams. I played them last league and 2 leagues before that. They were bad last league and they were bad 2 leagues before that, and they're still bad this league. I just can't do it again. And I'm looking at things like Rage Vortex, which I've also played before, and I'm like, God, there just is nothing there. There's nothing compelling there. So I hope that the league mechanic itself is enough to drive a lot of excitement. And I will try the new Ascendancies. I'm going to try the Guardian. I'm going to try to maybe do some Chieftain stuff. We'll see. But I completely understand. I think for the first time in a while, I completely understand the perspective of Reddit right now. I feel like I understand it. And I mostly agree with it. I'm a huge GGG stan, and I'm still going to play this league. But I do at least understand and appreciate the perspective that the lack of changes to skill gems is actually a problem. It's just, this isn't how you keep your game fresh. So, all right, I gotta go. I gotta do some work, but bye.